Hey, good morning, everyone. This is Coach Chris from definedriskinvesting.com coming at you from Central Time America at 11:40 on Friday, July 26th. What I have up on my screen is a chart of the Micro E-mini NASDAQ 100 Index Futures, otherwise known as the MNQ. And this is the September of 2024 contract. Again, I'm at Central Time Zone, 11:40 a.m. Normal risk disclosure. Please do not take anything of what I am about to tell you as financial advice. Trading is risky and you can and probably will lose money. This video is produced for educational purposes only. So, these purple lines indicate the dividers between the days. This was yesterday, Thursday, July 25th, and this is today. Remember, we've only got about a half a day. Look at yesterday. Look at how we had some really crazy up and down action. These are 100. Let me just measure it here for you to give you some idea of context. No, that's 270 points there, and from top to bottom, here's the tippy top, and here's the tippy bottom. That's 500 point range yesterday. Just an amazing day. And then you can see the sell-off candle, which was a minus 240 points. And then you can see here in the afternoon session how it slowly creeped up. We gapped down rather when the new contract opened. And then from there, we had a steady increase, consolidation, a downdraft this morning, and then now a steady uptrend. And let me just measure some of these to give you some idea. From the low at 0:30 this morning to 3:30 a.m., that's 166.5 points. Then this morning, tell you when this started. We did have news, and I don't remember. Yeah, this is the news candle here. So from the top of that news candle to the low of day, that was a 200-point drop. Then from 9:30 a.m., we hit the lows, and we've been steadily increasing, coming back up 225 points to the upside. And here again, it's around quarter to 12. And so as of right now, on the MNQ, we're up 260 points on the day, which represents a 1.36% increase. And over on the S&P 500, that is up 74 points, which is a 1.3%. VIX is down 1.89 points, which is a 10 and a quarter. Qs are up 6 points. The Dow is up a point. So everything's up, good. End phase stock up 3.6. So that is the 30-minute chart. Let's dive into this and see what we can find as far as a breakdown of what our indicator did for us today. Just bear with me a second as I find the chart I'm looking for. Let's see if it opens for me. Now, I am hopefully done for the day, but I'm monitoring my my charts off to the side. We are in an incredible up run, and I'll show you that in a minute. Probably approaching 150 to 200 point increase here. Let's go back to the start of Friday. Now, if you watch my video from yesterday, you know that I absolutely crushed it yesterday. I don't know if it was the price, the way the price action fell or what, but I mean, it was absolutely outstanding. Now, this morning and today, it's the indicator, our proprietary indicator, the Momo crossover, has been firing some false signals. Most of them ended up being winners. But I'm going to go through each trade because we had so many trades today. I am up on the day, over 150 in my private account, and I forget on my my prop firm accounts what I'm up, but I've been trading several accounts and I'm up on average 200 to 400 on each account. So this candle, where's the 7:30 news candle? This is a 2-minute chart, remember, as opposed to the last one. So here's when the news candle, and the index usually takes a little bit to get warmed up, and so there was no trades. Our first trade fired at 8:40 this morning, 20 minutes to 9 a.m. Central Time. We had a trade to the downside, and it was a good trade, but we only got one huge 2-minute candle down and then a little bit continuation here, and then it immediately reversed. So we'd like for this to extend a little bit, but let me just give you an idea of what. So the indicator fired. This little red down arrow indicates firing of a short. We had momentum on our proprietary. This is our proprietary line here. And you can tell when it's red, we're looking for a long, gray is neutral, and when it turns green, we're looking for an uptrend. So this fired on this candle here. Remember, we're not always going to get in at the way initial. Now, you can see what just happened. This red and green is a market direction indicator. And when I started the video, it was actually aiming down. And you can see now that we've had such and we'll see that in a minute, such an upshift. It just changed directions now, which is not uncommon. So this is the first candle we had a firing on at 8:40 this morning. And like I was saying, you're not always going to get in immediately, but let's just, and you can see here's the wick of that candle. I don't know if you can see it or not. Let me widen this chart out a little bit. You can see the wick is here. Let's just assume you got in at the base of the candle. Remember, we're looking for at least a 20-point increase, and this trade went on 50 points, okay, with really zero drawdown. So this would have been a great win. We get in, and we almost within 4 minutes were into profit. I have modified the rules on days like today where I put a 20-point stop loss on the trade, just because we are getting some false negatives on days like today because the market is so whipsaw, and with these long, I don't know if you can see these long tails on all the candles, the thing was whipsawing like crazy. Now, normally we are, once the algorithm fires on this, we are going to get at least a 1-to-1, 20-point stop loss, 20-point take profit. Just during these conditions. So at 9:26, the algo fired again. We'll measure, do we get our 20 points? Way over it. We got 40 points here again with no drawdown. And that was within 2 minutes. Then, just a few minutes later at 9:30, the algo fired again, this time to the downside. And so this was a nice trade. I did took all of these trades so far, and with multiple contracts. So I mean, it was a good morning. So let's just measure this out from the time we get the firing all the way down here, almost 46 points. And then if you did want to hold to the full 50, you can see you ultimately got as many as close to 70 points without getting stopped out. Now, you could have held it longer if you wanted. You can see there was a little bit of drawdown, but then so what is that now? That's 3 trades, 3 wins to as much as 50%. Now, this next trade was a loser, I believe. You see, algo fired to the upside and did not get the 20 points. So we would have been stopped out on the next candle with a 20-point loss. Okay? And then, as I said, today was a little different than yesterday. Yesterday we got I don't think we had any false positives. And you can see here we have 1. This one would have been a false positive. It never achieved our 20-point. This one, I believe, did achieve our... so this would have been two losses in a row of 20 points each. Now here, I think we hit our target. Yes. So even though it fired, because we use conservative stop loss requirements on entry of 20 point stop loss, 20 point take profit, we did here hit the full. So that those two trades would have offset. Now here again, when you start to see it, the algo firing, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 5 times within a half hour, these are usually going to be false positives. And the reason for that is it's trying to create momentum one direction or the other, and it just can't do that, and it's impossible to avoid. Any trading system, you are going to have losses on. There's just no other way to avoid it. But with our risk parameters that we enjoy, we minimize the risk while taking full advantage of the upside. So this was a downward trigger on the algo at 10:34 a.m. Let me just measure it from the time it would have triggered. Yeah, come on. From the time it would have triggered it. Man, this one is close. Yeah, nope. We would have been a little short. It only came to 17.5 points. So that would have been another loss. So we have 1, 2, 3 50-point winners, and then 1 20-point winner, and then 3 losses. But here is what we are made of. I want to show you this trade here, and you are absolutely not going to believe it. And I'm going to use the risk tool for this. So it's not, remember, it's not the number of trades you always get. Even if we break even on a series of trades, that's fine. Because like the first two, we ended up getting 50 points each. But we know, using this momentum indicator, we are absolutely going to crush it. And here is a prime example. So let me go to the trade tool here. Is it on long? Yes, long position. So you can see right here, our algorithm fired. And let's just say we came in at halfway on this candle. Really doesn't matter. And I'll delete this in a second because I want to illustrate one more thing. But let's go up to the top, which is right here as of now. I'll just move that over to prove it, to make sure that could be a little short, but that's close enough. And then let's just look at worst case scenario on the drawdown would have been. Even no matter where we would have entered. So this figure depends where we entered on this candle, but either way, it wouldn't have mattered because we would have never been in the situation of any drawdown because we would have caught the top of this based on the way that this fires. We only trigger the algo once it's in positive territory here. So we literally had no drawdown on this trade. And you can see here, look at this target, 168 points over, triggered at 10:30, and we'd still be in the trade at noon, so an hour and a half. You can see here some periods of retracement, and you can see now with this indicator in the background, the red and the green, that means it's continuing, so momentum continues to be up. So we'd have no reason to close that trade as long as it's over our Momo indicator, our proprietary indicator here. As long as that stays green and the candles are above it, we stay in the trade. So, I don't think there's anyone watching this that wouldn't take 168 points. Okay. Now, I don't advise you keep all of your contracts. So what I normally do is I trade with 3 contracts. Okay. I peel one off at anywhere from 20 to 25 points, okay, which basically pretty much pays for the trade. I then trail my stop up until I get to 50 points, take another one off, and at that point I move my stop loss up to break even, and I let that final one run. Now, I normally trade anywhere from 3 to 9 contracts. These are micros on each of these trades, depending on my feeling and how the algorithm has been performing that day. I only took 3 contracts. I peeled one early, peeled one mid-level, and then I still have a runner going. But let's say your account was large enough that it could accommodate a full-size mini on this. And since we trade the NQ, that's 20 points per, or $20 per point, and we're at what, 170? 70 times 20. That's a $3,400 trade right there. That's what dreams are made of. I used to scalp, and I got a headache because it's in and out watching every little tick on the chart. So here we go to the 2 minute. So we're already, most scalpers use the 1 minute. It's already, this is a much smoother system. Instead of just getting a headache going in and out, worrying about every little tick, we just sit back and wait. We watch the price action, okay, and we wait for the algo to trigger. And when it does, we execute the trade based on mechanically set stop loss parameters. And in the long run, we're normally getting 2 to 1 profit, 1 risk to 2 reward minimum. And in this case, we'd have gotten, this is right now at around 7 or 8 to 1. 1 risk to 7 or 8 reward. Okay? So you can see here, once it triggers, we never ever, these candles right here got close to getting us out, but we normally would stay in. Like I said, as long as it's, most of the candle is above our indicator, proprietary indicator, we're going to stay in the trade, and it's still green. We have confluence with the overall momentum of the market. I call this a banger. I don't know what you call it. I think I'm done for the day. But anyway, thanks for watching. This indicator is not yet available to the public. I am still testing and back testing. And as of right now, the results are looking absolutely amazing. And you can see, I'm showing them to you. This is real time right now. This is not pre-recorded or fudged in any way. Now, there are some days when the indicator does not perform very well, and even times of the day when it doesn't perform well, and I'm working on that. And so what I've done is, by setting the risk parameters of our trading conditions, I have minimized that so that we don't get chopped up, so to speak, during those times when the market is not performing. Also, I do not advise trading this during overnight hours. There's just not enough volatility in the market and not enough movement per the range of each candle. In order for this to work, we need some range. We don't want these tight little candles here like this. And some days that's all we get. If there's no news or added volatility, unfortunately, that's all we get. Now, most days, this thing is going to trigger anywhere from 3 to 5 typically. It sometimes triggers more, and at least 1 to 2 bangers. Like this trade was a nice trade. And when I say a banger, I'm talking 100 plus trades. And that's usually we're going to get, assuming the market gives us the range, you're going to be able to capture it as we did today. So I guess I'm going to leave it at that. Coach Chris signing out. You all have a good weekend. Next week, I want to talk a little bit about confluence. You may be familiar with that term. You may not be. And I'm also in future videos going to talk a little bit about the psychology of trading because it's extremely important. So have a great weekend. Stop trading for the day if you're watching this live. Hang it up. Enjoy your family. Go touch some grass and enjoy life. Coach Chris signing out. DefinedRiskInvesting.com.